Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Transwest Truck Trailer RV here in Frederick, Colorado. My name's Taylor, and today we're going to be going over the 2023 Entegra Cornerstone. This is the 45R, I believe. I'm sorry, I forgot. Yes, 45R, and it's the Bunk floor plan. So it has a total of 4 slides and a bunch of great upgrades. So let's go ahead and take a walk around the outside first, and then we'll end off on the inside. Alrighty, one thing I did want to point out to you guys, you have these nice mirrors that are heated as well as powered, so you can go ahead and control them from the inside. It's both the top and the bottom, which is kind of nice. Yeah, I've wanted your first little marker light here. Our steps are already out and about, but they do flip up, and then you have a nice little chrome backsplash right here. Of course, nice little entry doorbell, and you can go ahead and set a code there, so you can go ahead and unlock and lock the coach from the outside. Your first fill here for that diesel fuel. Up above here, your nice Entegra Coach Cornerstone emblem. As we work our way down, we have the Michelin tires. These are the 365/70Rs, 22.5, and then a nice little Spartan emblem in our rim there. Sliding on over to our first bay. Nothing too fancy. You do have a nice little remote there, but everything is nice and carpeted. And then as we work our way up here, we do have a nice little awning for our windows, in addition to the Girard awning package, both for your door, the slide out toppers, and your full wall awning. Moving forward, we have our outdoor entertainment system here. So we have that Samsung, and then the JBL sound bars, and then you can also configure the volume and everything just for the sound bar here. Another thing, as you can see, it's just the push button baggage doors. So you just go ahead and push that button and it will unlock and kind of pop out for you. And then you do have the powered slide out trays, which is accessible on either side, carpet on the interior as well. And then you do have a nice little latch here, so you can go ahead and slide out those heavier things. Bring that back in. And then as I close it, you do have, for some reason the button isn't working, you can go ahead and just use your key to lock and unlock that door. So I kind of like having that nice little safety feature there, so you don't have to worry about taping up the door if it is giving you a hard time. Onto our third bay, we have the same setup here, so the same powered drawer here. And then right over here, we just have our leveling jack fuses, and then we have our Victron Energy control panel over here, and then you have your inverter shut off way in the back there. And then you do have some charging options inside here. Nothing too here, no storage anyways, you just do have your nice little freshwater fill. All right. DEF fill. All right, and then we just have our chassis batteries, and then the disconnects, so you can go ahead and turn those off. And then one thing I just wanted to point out too, this is where the switch is to open that engine door. I'll just wait until you guys are over there, and then I'll go ahead and open that up, but I just wanted to show you kind of where the button is, so we can go ahead and open that up. Since it is electric, it's a little on the slower side, but another thing I just wanted to mention too, the previous owner, he clear brawed this whole entire coach, so from top to bottom it has a nice clear braw coat on it. Perfect. There we go. That's as high as it goes now. All right, we'll just go ahead and start from the top. You do have, I would have to actually go up there myself to count how many solar panels are up there, but the previous customer loaded it up as much as you can, so I would have to kind of get in touch with our service department to see how much wattage that is. So if that's something you guys are curious about, feel free to reach out to me and I can get that question answered for you. But you do have the nice little backup camera. Down below that, you just have that nice Entegra emblem. And then working our way down here, this is on that Spartan K3 chassis. It's the raised rail, Cummins 1.5 liter X15 turbocharged 605 horsepower with Allison 4000 MH 6-speed transmission. It does have the 3-stage engine brake collision avoidance system with collision warning, adaptive cruise control, and then the electric stability control as well. And then as we work our way down here to the hitch, you have your 20,000 pound hitch. And then you do have your braking system right here, as well as the pre-wire for brake lights. So this is already set to go for any flat towing. You would just need to make sure your vehicle is set up for flat tow and you're good to go. All right, as we work our way over here, you have that side mount radiator. Again, the Michelin tires for our tag. Our dump hose is in here. Whoops, there we go. And then on to our wet bay. For that fresh water, you have 100 gallons of capacity. Gray is 62, and then our black water is going to be 41. And then as you can see, we just have our filter right over here. You can go ahead and see your batteries and your tank levels, turn on that pump. And then you just have the valve there to go ahead and open and close for your black and gray. You can turn that macerator on. You do have a nice little built-in light. And then your city water connection hose reel, which is gonna be in that right-hand corner where the nice little Entegra emblem is. And then if you wanted to go ahead and put some paper towels in here, you have a nice little prong. And then you just have a nice little cubby as well to put any other gadgets that you would need for the wet bay. All right, sliding over here, we have our 50 amp shore power cord to the right of us. Directly above that, we have our surge guard protector, and then you have the huge Aqua Hots. It's the 45 OD, so it's pretty much as big as you can get. It's great for having that tankless water heater. Gives you on-demand hot water and heat. All right, sliding on over to our next bay, we have the Dirt Devil there on the top. And then again, this is just that other side for that slide out tray, which I was telling you before. It is accessible on either side. Again, same thing here. And then that last bay. All right. We'll just go ahead and get a nice little shot of the front cap here. We do have our generator running. It's a 12.5 kilowatt Onan generator. Nice chrome features. And we will go ahead and take our first few steps. I'll let you guys go in first just because that slide out controller is going to be directly above the door just to make it a little easier. All right, so right now I have all the lights on and I will go ahead and start opening up the slides, and then I will get our shades so you guys can really see the kind of colors that are in here. But we have our slide control panel in here. As far as battery power, you do have 4 of the L16 AGM batteries. So those are going to be the 6 volt, 390 amp hours each. And then it just standard comes with the 2 190 watt solar panels, but I'd have to kind of count and see what kind of wattage the additional solar panels are on the roof. And then you have the 3 15,000 BTU AC units. Alrighty, got the first two open. Now we'll go ahead and get that vanity where the bunks are. All right, and that bed slide. So this is the Select Comfort sleep number. It's a king size mattress, which is also on our fourth slide. So once we get that out, we'll go ahead and start in the rear there. Perfect. Now that we got everything nice and open it up, let's go ahead and start in the very back here. So this is a bath and a half floor plan. I do have to say, when you do walk inside of this coach, it does feel very residential and homey. Whoopsie, sorry, we actually slide that. I'm so used to opening them. So you have your washer and dryer back here. Our closets, which I'll open the other side for you. It'll probably be a little easier to see. There we go. Now we have it nice and lit up, that bar. Carpeted in the bottom as well. And then up above here has some carpet too, to kind of help with the rattles. As we slide over to our sink here, I love all of the gold features and the brownish backsplash. It really ties everything in. Our medicine cabinet. You do have a nice little touch screen control panel here for shades as well as lighting. 2 charging outlets. And then we do have few drawers. You're going to have 3 just the same on either side, and then you do have one little one in the middle here that kind of props out, and some more storage directly above underneath the sink. All right, and for the tile here, as you can see, that you just have 2 little latches. That's just for techs to access the chassis. But you have your toilet over here, and then you have the little control panel here is for the flush and everything, and then a nice little window in the back. And one cool thing I thought that was interesting is you have a cover here for all of your fantastic fans. All right. Pocket door. Let's see if I can get it. There we go. So you can close it off. There is a mirror on this side, just so you can kind of see that. All right, now into our master bedroom. Again, this is the king bed. Sleep number, memory foam. I love the detail in the backboard there, the nice mirror, and then velvety accents all around. And then you do have your nice little lights. And then you do have that same control touchscreen up here to go ahead and access your lights. And then you have this where you can go ahead and turn it off and on as well. You have a ridiculous amount of space above the bed here. It's very deep. I'm not sure I can measure that if you guys are kind of interested, but it is a little bit bigger than I've seen. And then you do have some charging as well, centrally located there. But one thing I'm not noticing is any holes to kind of slinky through the wires if you needed that. So it would kind of have to stay up there. Both windows do open on either side, which is nice, and then you do have charging on either side of the bed as well, with like a little bit of storage if needed. All right, we'll go ahead and flip over here on the other side. Again, loving the gold handles. You do have some carpet down below, and then these are just shelves, so it's not additional hanging space. It's just additional storage. And then you do have a few drawers as well. Not very deep, but there's a total of 6. And then you have the Bose sound bar tucked away under here, and your nice Samsung TV, and an emergency exit window. All right, to wrap up the storage area, we'll just go ahead and show you the last 2 cubbies here. These are kind of nice, just because it is kind of in the master bedroom, but it is accessible once we open here to these bunks. And I love how the bunks are actually closed off, so it doesn't look like it's a bunk bed. Also, you don't have to worry about it being clean in here. You can kind of just have it tucked away, so the kids can come in here, sleep, have all their stuff in here during the day, and then they can go ahead and get it out if needed. But as you can see too, probably not from your side, but on this side you do have 2 TVs, and then you do have an electric bed lift. So this top one can go all the way up if you needed to store anything in here that was a little longer, or totes if you didn't have people traveling with you. It's kind of nice having the versatility, and then also it being able to close it off. Just makes it a little bit more clean and sleek. And then for the Dirt Devil, you do have your little opening right there where you slide that off and you can go ahead and connect it. And then you have the vacuum part right over here. One thing that I do love that's centrally located is going to be your shower. Again, has that marbly backsplash with the gold features in it as well. And then you have a higher skylight to kind of give you a little bit more headroom. All right, and then I'll just go ahead and open up the medicine cabinet. So you do have some space down below here, and then you just have the wiring up above. There we go. I love how the counter space kind of goes all the way back with the wall, and then you also have a giant cubby here behind the toilet, so you can go ahead and put toilet paper and all that kind of stuff over there. And then you do have one, area here where you can go ahead and have some storage space. Perfect. And then again, a nice little pocket door here so you can close that off if needed. All right, one more thing before we exit the hallway. We have a nice little overview here. This is just on our lights, but I will go ahead and bring those day shades down. So just one click and it will automatically bring all the shades down. So that will kind of help with that lighting so it's not as bright in here from the natural sunlight. Perfect. And I'm actually going to do the night shades as well, just to kind of help when we go there. Perfect, alrighty. Just kidding. Don't want to have them both down at the same time. Okay, we'll just go to the home page here, and then you could see all of your AC source inverters over here, overview of all of your tank capacity, and then down below here you can just go from lights, shades, in depth to the coach, your climate for all 3 ACs, solar, so you can kind of see the wattages, utilities, and then also into your settings. But we'll go ahead and work our way into the kitchen area first. As you can see directly below here, you have a nice little wine cellar for all of the wine bottles, and then a nice little fancy cabinet for all of that glassware. Extra counter space up here. If you're not really a wine drinker, I would say this is a perfect spot for your coffee maker. You can go ahead and plug that in and make it a little coffee nook here. Paper towel holder, and then I love having this nice little glass with the light on the inside. Just makes it very beautiful and elegant. And then as we slide down over here, we have our beautiful sink and countertop. Again, with the gold features, you have a nice little built-in soap dispenser, and then even going above and beyond and having the gold fixtures down there as well for your drain. You do have the kitchen window, and then a nice little wooden panel to cover up the cooktop, so if you're on induction. And then when it's not in use, you could just go ahead and put this back on top of it. And then we'll just go ahead and continue with the bottom first, and then we'll end off on the microwave and the additional storage up above. Perfect. So you can go ahead and stow these away if you want to just keep that sink open. And then this is a perfect spot for your trash can if needed. You have your dishwasher. And then you have 3 more countertops here. Sorry, 3 more drawers, and then the extra countertop is right in here. This just slides over. So if you needed some extra space, perfect. And then this, you just go ahead and, I believe the latch is not letting me unlock. There we go. You can just go ahead and pull it out so you can have some extended countertop here. And then when you're done with it, just go ahead and push it back. And then now to the storage up above here. Whirlpool induction microwave. Oops, missed this one here. Just the tiniest bit of storage. And then I do not love how you have a nice little rack here. It's just metal instead of wood. So I like that added on feature as well. All right. We have our nice couch that does turn into a bed as well. So a total of 6, I would say, as far as sleeping in this floor plan. Beautiful window to go ahead and light up that living area, and then some more additional storage up ahead. And then you have charging on either side. And then I'll go ahead and just pop up our TV lift here with this button. That is going to go ahead and completely cover our window though, so catch a little glimpse of that before it is completely covered. All right. Now that we're on this side, you can kind of see this is a booth dinette. I love how the cushions kind of are up here, so then you can go ahead and prop your arm up here, get a little bit more comfortable. And another cool feature, you can go ahead and pull this out, lift it up, and then it locks into place to kind of add a little bit more counter space. And then it does the same thing. You just unlatch this, pull it out, and then you just have to pull out that cushion there and put this back piece so you can comfortably seat up to 4. Oops. Alrighty. And then another thing that I did like too, sorry I don't want to mess with that, is kind of how you have a nice little place. It's a little cushionier, so you can't really set drinks or anything like that, but I like having that nice little ledge there. And then you do have some charging and then some more storage on either side, so perfect for movies, games, or anything like that. And then you have your Bose sound bar up above as well. Some more, sorry. And then we have our pantry, ginormous pantry. Here are all the remotes and miscellaneous things as of right now, but all of the shelves are adjustable. And then you do have your LG, okay, this is already unlatched, fridge. All right. And your freezer with the ice tray. And then also another pantry area, so you can go ahead and pull out these drawers. Perfect. All right, that wraps up the living area. Then we'll go ahead and come up here. Not sure if you guys caught a glimpse earlier when we first walked in, but these are where the controllers are for all of 4 slides. And then we have our wine guard here, and then your AC overrides. And then we just have a little bit more storage up ahead here on either side of the other TV. And then our last is where all of our breakers are. Perfect, just close those. Now as we go ahead and sit in our captain's chairs, these are heated and cooled, and then you also have a massage feature. And I'm just gonna go ahead, I have the keys in the cup holder here, so I'm just gonna go ahead and turn on the chassis really quick so we can wake everything up. Just move that on the other side. Perfect. All right, while that's slowly waking up, we'll go ahead and start over here to the left of me. We just have our tag dump. And then our windows, so we can go ahead and open and close this power window. It's kind of interesting because this one goes up instead of sliding forward. Sorry, I know the shade's right there, but and then we just do have our gen start and stop button. You can also do that from the control panel in the back. Nice little battery boost here, and then dome lights, cup holder, wireless charging, and then this is just our Allison parking brake, and then we have all of our lights over here for our outside lights. Just a little controller here, so if you wanted to set up your phone for navigation or anything like that, you can go ahead and shove it right there. Huge LED dash, which is crazy. And now that it's all lit up, you guys can kind of see. And then I also just wanted to point out the mileage here. So today we have 10,157 miles. Very low mileage for a 2023, and again on that Spartan. You can see everything you can control from here, so you can kind of keep your hands on the wheel for your cruise control, all of the screen views, radio, and then also for your lights and horn. And this is going to be your volume. And then you have another one over here. I thought, okay, so this is for your engine brake on and off. So you can go ahead and change that 3-stage engine brake on this side. All right, sliding over, we have another huge LED touchscreen here. So you can go through all of your radio features, your climate. You can also control your shades, which is really cool. And also lighting inside of the coach. Go into controllers, so you can kind of tilt. This is for your pedals too, so you can go ahead and adjust the pedals to get the most comfortable ride there. GPS, some additional settings. Just wanted to jump into the utilities, another feature where you can go ahead and turn on and off that generator, all of your cargo, so you can go ahead and lock and switch those, house temperature for the ACs. This really goes in depth, not only for everything that's chassis related, but also house related, so you can go ahead and configure everything from there. And then also goes into your leveling, so I really do like that. And then you just have a nice little cubby here. You do have a nice carpeted mat as well. And then yeah, other than that, just going over into our passenger seats. As you can see, again, all of the controllers for the heating and cooling, and then your massage. And then just to end off, you do have another touchscreen over here for that co-pilot with the step cover, so you can go ahead and adjust everything from there as well without having to get up. Alrighty, but that's going to go ahead and wrap it up for our 2023 Entegra Cornerstone. Of course, if you guys have any comments, questions, or concerns, I can go ahead and email you the original MSRP sheet or brochure, or answer any other questions that you guys had. Feel free to give me a call at my number below, 970-388-7937. Thanks again. Have a good day.